Hey, it's me, Monte. Happy Tuesday. It is April 18th. Didn't vlog yesterday. I came in half day. I know what you're gonna say, but I came in half day. It was my child's 8th birthday, my youngest. So we went out to breakfast. That's my tradition. Dad joined us yesterday, so that's where I was in the morning. I came in half day, which is after lunch. My kids were running around the room when I came in. So it took a bit to calm them down. So we had a moment where we just sat and we were quiet and we were breathing, following some breathing exercise that I found online, and was starfish breathing or something like that. So they were breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And so they just made a starfish. And then we started with our day. So I finished what the sub was doing, which was, I think they were doing like telling time. So I think this was like the worksheet they were doing. So we were telling time, we did that. And then we went on with finishing Friday. So since I wasn't here on Friday, we pretty much worked on our 5th day. So we did unit 4, week 5, at the day 5, right? So we did that yesterday. So we finished up our writing. So what did we do? Let me show you. This is what we worked on yesterday. So it was to finish what we started last week. On Thursday, we watched the video. And from the video, we watched it 2 times. Once to watch it all the way through. The second time, they were supposed to take notes on 3 ways to take care of the earth, to help the earth. So Thursday, they watched this 2 times and wrote notes on it. Yesterday, after we watched it, we worked on writing our paragraph. And so we all wrote the same topic sentence. Let me tell you how to take care of the earth, or ways. Let me tell you how to help the earth, I think we wrote. And then we wrote down first, and I gave them time to write down one of their ways. And then we said another way is, and then I gave them time to write down another way. And then also you can, and then I gave them time to finish their sentence. And then our last sentence was all the same. These are ways to help the earth. That's what we did yesterday, which was finishing up our writing from Thursday, because we have writing coming up that we need to get done. And then we read Coco Penny again. This is my first slide for this week. Yesterday, they did do Mystery Science because it was Mystery Science Monday. And I found this little like yoga. They hold the pose for like 15 seconds. And so that's how we're going to start our mornings this week, with yoga instead of a song. Saturday is Earth Day. So we were finishing a project we started yesterday. So when we came in, we had to finish our project. This makes a hat. So the kids have hats that they did on sentence strips. So yesterday I gave them time to color right at the end, and we left it on our seats. And then we came in today and we wrote down, or we cut out what we can reduce, reuse, and recycle. And then they cut it out and they made a hat using the sentence strip. So that's what we did in the morning. And then we got on with our day. So they read while they were reading. I pulled some that had gone down in star. They sat next to me. It's math, so it's not reading to them for some reason. So I sat 3 at my table and I was reading to them what it was saying. And then I had friends that didn't finish. So I had friends on the carpet and they were finishing their early lit or their math test from STAR. And then everyone else was reading. Math was, we were using our My Math book. We're using Zern, but I used My Math book because we needed to review how time to the half hour, because that's what they're having problems with. Everyone has the hour, and I have 3 actually that don't have the hour, but everyone else seems to have problems with half hour. So we did lessons in here today, whole group, and then we did Zern. When we were doing Zern, I pulled 3 more friends. They sat in front of me and we worked on finishing STAR math. After that, we gone on with our day. So we've done our phonemic awareness. We're going over R like a pirate. And so our words had R in it. I don't have an interactive read out loud today, so we skipped that. And we're going to get into our phonics lessons. Phonics this week is, we did high frequency words also. Phonics this week is the R sound, and so we have AR, R controlled vowels, and then we'll just have a worksheet that goes with it for groups. So it's lunchtime. That's where I've gotten to. For writing today, we are going to do another how-to. I'm going to show them a video of how to conserve water, which is also our prompt, is saving water. So I have a video that shows how to ways to conserve water, and today we're just going to do the notes. So when we come back in, we're going to do our phonics lesson, read out loud, and then phonics lesson. Phonics lesson is our R-controlled vowels, AR. That's what we're doing today, or this week. After that, we're going to do groups. When I'm doing groups, I'm going to pull some more friends to finish or to do their math test in front of me if they went down, so that way I can read it to them. So I'm going to do those. I do 2 groups, Monday, Tuesday, nothing on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we are going to get into our writing. Writing today is going to be how to save water, which is also our prompt for our writing assignment. So I have a video where it talks about how to save water, how to conserve water. So today we'll watch it, just to watch it, all the way through. The second time we watch it, they're gonna watch and try to remember 3 ways to save water. And I'll give them a piece of paper to write those ways down. And then I'll probably have them draw also. So that way, if they don't understand their writing tomorrow, they have a drawing to go with them, with their ideas. And so they'll do that today. Tomorrow, we'll write. Since this is going to be part of our writing assignment, there is like a reading prompt that they're going to have. So tomorrow I'll give them the reading prompt. We'll read the prompt together. I think it's like a play or a paragraph. And then I'll give them time to write ideas if they don't have 3 ideas, because they need 3 for their paragraph. So we'll do writing after our phonics, after our centers, and then we're going to get into our new story, which is Barn Full of Hats. A couple minutes before my friends go and eat. Here's our 2 words, trouble and hole. I'm going to look at this. It's from a pack that I bought last year. I really didn't use it. It goes with work for each day. So like this is our day 1 work that goes with it. I'll try to find it and link it below, but I'm going to see what we can do from that packet and use it. I bought it, but I didn't use it. So I'm going to see what we can do from there. Ooh, they have a phonics page. I like that. We were supposed to listen to Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, so I'll probably do that also. I don't do the read out louds. I taught a combo one year. And when I taught the combo, there was like a training, and part of it was how to teach a combo with wonders. And it told us what we can skip, because you can't do everything when you're in a combo. And it told us what to skip, which wasn't that important. And the read out loud with the cards was one of the things that you can skip when you have a combo, because you don't have time for everything. So when I taught not a combo, a straight class, I continued to skip that because I do interactive read out louds. So I already do a read out loud. I just don't do it from wonders. So that's what I skip. And then I'll talk to you at the end of the day to see what I used, what I found, and what we're going to do tomorrow. It's after school. It's 3:09. Big problem. What am I making for dinner? That's the question. Let's see. What did we do? We did everything I wanted to do. So we came in, we did our writing, we listened to the story. I had them read to themselves. I call it Little Book, Big Book. So they read to themselves from their little book. We read, or they read, all 6 stories that we've already read. So it was a reread time. From the packet that I didn't know what I was going to use, I did end up using the story map. We did the lesson learn together because I found it kind of hard. I think the lesson was, or what we came up with was, you need to ask permission to use things because she breaks them. And then they get home and she's in there and she's not supposed to be there. So that was what they came up with the lesson, that you need to ask permission. Like first she should ask permission to go inside the house. Then she should ask permission to use all their things. So that's what they came up with. And then the other side was the AR to go with our phonics. And so we circled the AR and then we sounded out. So it was jar, cart, barn, arm. So we did this together. We read the words together and then I gave them time to write the words with the pictures. And then we said each picture and what word they were supposed to write down. I asked them to pay attention to their printing. And this is the only time when I ask them that they do really great print job, a really neat job, but I have to like tell them to print neatly. So then I got into, you should always be printing neatly all the time. So we did that. I gave them some catch up time. So I had centers from last week and from today that weren't finished. And so they had to finish their centers. And then some of them didn't finish this, so they had to finish that. If they finished, they did this. I printed this for the sub yesterday on Monday, but she didn't get to it. So they did this if they were finished with the other things. And so that was catch up time also. And then we still had time. After we did everything, we still had time. So this is, again, this is from the substitute, but we didn't get to it. I didn't hand it out. I just put it on the overhead. So we went over contractions. I just showed this top part. This is from the Moffat girls from April, their April pack. So this is just a quick little contraction review. They're supposed to look at the two words and write the word. I just showed this on the overhead. So I just called on friends' names. I have cards that have their names on it, called on them, said, okay, number one, what is it? They told me can't. Great job. Number two, let us, what's the contraction? Let's, awesome. Did that, and then we went over compound words, which was last week. I'm gonna put these away. I have a whole set. So I'm gonna put these away for next year. And they're already copied. So I'll put them in my file, and then that way they're already copied and I don't have to worry about that. So we did that. Then we cleaned up and we did Epic. If they had time after they cleaned up, we did Epic. So that was my really quick Tuesday. I honestly thought testing would take up a lot more time than it did, but I have two kids that need to do math. They have not finished, so they need to do math. And then I have two kids that need to do the early lit test. They have not finished. One of those kids is on both lists because he hasn't returned from vacation. So this will be his 8th day absent if he's not here tomorrow. So he has not returned from vacation. So he's on both lists. And so I have 1 and 1. So tomorrow in the morning when they're reading, I'll call both to the back table and I'll have them do it. All my other friends, I went through the ones that I made redo. They all redid their test that they were supposed to. And let me show you why I make them redo. This is an example of why I have them redo. There's no names there, so I'm good. So this is where she was. This is what she did yesterday. So I made her redo it again today, sitting in front of me, and that's where she scored today. So I even showed her, like, this is why you redid it, and I showed her what she got yesterday, and I asked her if she tried, and she looked at me and she was like, no. And so I said, exactly. So that's why I have them redo it, especially the kids that I know that's not where they're at. So I had her redo it, and a lot of the other ones, they went up also. We have, let me see, tomorrow's Wednesday. So we have a fire drill in the morning. We have library in the morning, and then we get out early. So we'll see. I know I did my slides, so I'm good there. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get out. I have a high schooler to pick up, and so I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it is Thursday. I wish it was Thursday. It is Wednesday. It is lunchtime. It's early out day. This morning we had a fire drill, so we did that in the morning. So it kind of interrupted, pushed things back. We're in the middle of math at the moment. We did our lesson. We did a worksheet, and now they're doing Zern. So we have about 5 minutes left on Zern when they come back in from lunch. What I did today for math, for the lesson, we're on lesson 13, module 5. It's the last lesson. So there is going to be a test. What I did so I've already tested shapes and I already tested fractions. I'll test time to hour, half hour, maybe not. I'm giving them I gave them a worksheet. I don't know where it came from, but it had trolls on it. And this week our song is trolls. So it fit. And it had a girl troll and a boy troll. So today boys did the boy troll and girls did the girl troll. And then tomorrow, I think I'm just gonna have the girls do the boy troll and the boys do the girl troll. That way they get more practice. Tomorrow we'll do the same thing that we did today, which was I told them a time. They had to make the time on the little clocks. And then I showed them a time and they had to write down on their whiteboards what time it was. So they didn't tell me what time it was, they had to write it down. So we did both of those, and then for about 5 minutes they paired up and they tested each other. So I told them we only have done half hour and hour. So they did their time, they showed their partner had to tell them what time it was, and then they switched. So that was our math. It was a review of what we've done. Tomorrow we'll do the same exact thing, and I think this will just be, the worksheet will just be their test. It won't be like I won't tell them it's a test, I'll just get another grade from it. So I've had, I think, 3 grades for telling time, and I think that's what I'm going to do before I move on. So we come back in for lunch, we're going to finish our math. We are going to do our read out loud, our call me activity, and then we are going to get to phonics. Phonics is the R sound and the R controlled vowels, so the AR. Let me see what I copied. I have my words that I need to cut it out. Those are just flashcards that I show them every single day so we can sound them out and read them. And then I have Moffat Girls, it's AR, it was in the April pack, and so we're going to use this. So once we do our phonics lesson, we will do the cards to read, and then they will go to their seats, and then they will look at the picture, write the word, write down the R control, and this one just says short A. And then we'll work on the back. The back has a picture and it wants us to write 3 statements and 3 questions. This is both from the Moffat Girls April pack. So we're going to do that before we move into centers. I'm doing centers today, even though I usually don't do centers on Wednesday, because I need to finish that one friend and I want to get it done today. That way I can review things on Thursday and they're due Friday. So we're going to do centers today, even though it's short day, like I said. So I'll pull that one friend that needs to finish, and then I'll be done with star testing, which is awesome. I'll link what the extra pack I got, because it doesn't say, oh, it says by Stacy Tessina, and it comes with an activity each day. And so I printed off the day 2 activities it had. And so this is for a point of view. So we're going to work on this today from our reading. Yesterday we just read it and it's like a barn full of hats. And so we're going to work on reading the barn full of hats, and then we're going to work on point of view from that pack. And so it comes with like day 1 less worksheets, day 2 worksheets, and so this is from day 2. I also bought Goldilocks and the 3 Bears reader, so I'm going to print that and we're going to put those together tomorrow. And so we're going to put this inside our pocket, our little baggie, so we have other things to read. I already printed all this stuff off, so I'm good on what we're going to do. I have to cut my cards before they come back in. I have my math for tomorrow. I already graded our math. I have about 3 friends that are confusing where the hour hand and the minute hand go. So they're putting them in the right spots, but it's the wrong hand. So that is something I'll have to go over. I'm going to go have lunch and I will see you after school. New outfit, new day. I forgot to close yesterday, but thanks for watching Wednesday. Today is Thursday, it is lunchtime. We did our math, we finished our star testing. I gave them a little treat for everyone that has been here that finished their star test. I have one friend that's been absent for the last 2 weeks, so he hasn't gotten it done. So everyone else got a Rice Krispie treat for a thank you. After that, we did our math. We did our last day of telling time. I don't know if I'm gonna test or not. I printed it. It's the whole module test. I'm gonna have to print actually the new module, so I'm gonna print that. Maybe I'll run out of copies, I don't know, but I'm gonna print that. I just did the other one. So yesterday, the boys got the boy troll, and then today, and the girls got the girl troll. Today, the boys got the girl troll, and then the girls got the boy troll. So they each had a different worksheet to do, going over our half hour. I went yesterday, I pulled friends that were still having trouble. Today, when we were doing it, I went to those other friends I didn't get to yesterday, and we talked about what the minute hand looks like, what the hour hand looks like, and we went over a couple of the problems that were wrong. And then I said, okay, now I want you to look at the rest of your paper and see if you can fix anything that left. We were doing our phonics. So we did our phonemic awareness. Now we are doing our phonics. I need to print our reader for this week. I don't have it. We are doing a word ladder. So this is a word ladder. Yes, number 2, they loved. You start with 1, then you tell me you're going to change something, and you are going to make it into a new word, and then you're going to change something to make it into a new word. So that's what a word ladder is. In our series, Wonders, they have like one lesson in phonics that has that. So I usually have them do it on whiteboards, but I wanted them to do it on pieces of paper today, and a couple of them, I'll say 5 of them, were like, what? Like they were so used to not writing it, and then when we spelled it, that's when they wrote it. And so they were always a little bit behind, not using their sounds, because as I tell them, some of you guys are really great copiers, but we're not paying attention. So they're friends that are really great copiers, which is a skill in itself, but they weren't paying attention to what they were supposed to be doing. And so they were a step behind, but it kind of looked like they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. So we did that. When we come back in, we're going to do the other side of 5 words, and then I'm going to collect it. I want to see their work, so we're not going to go over it. So the first one we went over, I'm looking at my stuff for unit 5. Our first one we went over, and we spelled everything. This one, I'm just going to say it and then collect it. So when we come back in, we're going to do our phonics. We are going to do a worksheet that I got from that pack that I bought. It doesn't say who it's from. I'll link it below, but it gives you something to do every day. So this goes with phonemic awareness, but it has, like what we were doing, it tells them to change the F into a ch, and then they have to write the brand new word. This is going over like short A and the AR sound, so they have to look at the word and then decide which one goes where. And then on the back, it's connecting 2 words which are grammar, but you have to connect them using and, but, or, so. So we'll do this right after we do our next word ladder, and then I'll have them keep it so we can get to this later in the day. For writing, we'll do centers, and then for writing, it's going to be, this is like the little prompt they have, and we're going to read it. I printed one for each table, so I'm going to read it, and then as a group, they're going to go through and find the ways that they can conserve water, and then we'll add it to our list of ways to conserve water that I have on the whiteboard. And then I'm going to give them a brown piece of paper, and they're going to write 3 ways they can conserve water, and then we'll get into our writing. So that's what I have planned, and then after that we'll do our reading of Unit 5, Week 1, and it's our news story. I don't know what the news story is. The title, it's in my slides. I have my book here, but we'll get to that. And that should take me to recess, or to PE, and then recess. So it's Friday. What did we do so far? We came in, we did I found like a yoga thing. So we did this yoga thing. We've been doing it every day this morning, or every morning this week. And so we did that. It is like 5 minutes of stretching different poses, and they hold it, then it switches poses. So we did that, and then we got into our reading. I have 4 missing, and they are pretty much my EL kids. And so I pulled a different group. I have my list of 2 friends that scored yellow in the STAR test, so I just pulled them. They read flashcards with the R like a pirate. They read flashcards, and then they wrote sentences using the flashcards, and they had to read them to me, and we fixed high frequency words that they should know how to spell. And we fixed phonetic spelling, so if they should have been able to sound it out and write it. We fixed those and we made sure there was capitals and periods and they read. And so they wrote, I had them for about 15 minutes. So we did the flashcards and then they wrote. So that's what they did with me in group because my ELs weren't here. Math was just a quick review of time. And then after they were doing Zern, and as they were doing Zern, I pulled 3 at a time to test for telling time. I copied the end of module test from module 5. Page 3 was all time. So this is their test, which was a lot easier than the work I was giving them. Like the work was draw the time. But this one was, here's the time, write it down, match the words to the digital clocks. And then this one, the minute hand was missing. They had to draw the minute hand. So they sat with me, they did that. And then I used page 1, 2, and 4 as review for math for the module. I already graded the tests. I have 2 that scored a 2, which means they're progressing towards standards. I have 1 that scored a 1, which means they're not progressing towards standard. And then I have everybody else. So 17 out of the 20 that are here, they met standard. So, and they met end of the year standard. So I'm gonna pass those out since I already graded them. I'm doing a lot more of passing out things the day that I get them. I'm trying just to get rid of them and them to take a lot of things home. When we come back in for lunch, we are going to do a phonemic awareness. We'll do our phonics. I have a 4-minute phonics. That's going over the R-controlled R sound. I tell them R like a pirate. We'll do that. I have this from last year. I made the copies, but I never did anything with it. And according to the directions, I think they're supposed to work in partners. And then the partner says a word, and then they have to make the word on their desk or in front of them using these letters. So I don't know if I'm not gonna have them do it partners. We'll do a whole group and then they'll cut it out and then I'll say the word and then they have to make it. So we'll do that as part of our phonics. And then I copied our story, our phonetic reader, our decodable for the week. This one's Our Farm, and it's from Christy Menser, Unit 5. So we'll do that, and then we'll get into centers. Centers are finishing yesterday's. I have to see if I have enough writing paper. After that, we're gonna get into our writing. So for sure, I need to make more writing paper. I'm gonna give them, hopefully I can find something to do with water on Art Kids Hub. We'll draw, and then we'll get to our writing, and then reading. Reading's going to be our story of Frog and Toad and the Lost Button. We're going to read it. This I had from last year. I didn't use it. It was inside my file, and it's just questions because first graders can ask and answer questions. So I have that. So I'm gonna go eat lunch, plus PE, plus probably some Lexia ST math time, and then that'll be our Friday. So I'm gonna go eat lunch, and I promise, I really will. I will do it. I will get back to you after school. So we did our writing assessment. I have 4 that need to finish. 4 that wrote just the middle, like ways to say water, but they didn't have a topic sentence or a concluding sentence. They did have some connecting words thrown in there, but they were missing other things. I have 4 that were missing their closing sentence, but everything else was there, and that leaves 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that had everything they needed. So topic sentence, 3 examples of how to say water, closing sentence with connecting words, and their sentences make sense with capitals and periods. 6 plus 2 or 3, I forgot how many it was. So we'll say 9 kids did awesome. 4 still need to finish, or 5, I don't remember. Still need to finish. So on Monday, I'll give it back to them so they can finish. And the other ones just pretty much put the body without connecting. So we'll see. They'll get what they get. I just looked at it really fast. I didn't correct it. I don't have the rubric printed out, so I'll need to do that. That's what we did. This took longer than I had planned for. I wanted them to finish, so I just like to keep writing. We did PE. During PE, I did our phonics. So I would call kids. It's Friday, so they do unstructured play on the playground. And so I would call them and they would just read 10 words that had the R sound in it. And so we did that. I'm gonna print things for next week. I think my high schooler has to be picked up pretty soon, so I need to get things out. Writing took a little bit longer than I had planned. I wanted them to finish it. I wanted them to do a good job, so I didn't time them. I just told them to write. I set a timer for 10 minutes on my watch just so that way I knew like it's been 10 minutes. I walked around and I was giving like M&Ms when I saw a topic sentence, and I was like, oh, if you had a topic sentence, I gave you M&Ms. And I walked around and I was giving M&Ms, an M&M if they had connecting words, and I was like, oh, you got one. And then I would give M&Ms if they had concluding sentences. So I was walking around and I was saying those words to kind of like, I need those things to the kids. It didn't help. During PE, it's unstructured play on Friday, and I pulled them one at a time so they can do their phonics test. And so it's just flashcards and it has the AR sound in it. And so they just did those during unstructured play. And then we came in and we did our writing. We didn't get to reading because writing took a little bit longer. And then we were out a little bit longer for PE because I wanted to do phonics testing. This is all copies. I know it's in digital form in TPT. I just like having these so I can look at them and know what I have. And even though it's not all of it, I know that I have these in TPT so I can print. So I'm gonna get out the week 2. High schooler's messaging me saying he's ready to go. I'm gonna take all my liquids with me. I have my stuff for next week. I'm gonna leave that on my desk since Monday is going to be our last day with week 1. So I don't need that until Tuesday. So I have that there. I am going to do some caterpillar stuff. We are going to do the sound next week because we're doing week 5 or unit 5, week 2. We have about 37.5 days of school. We have a color run coming up. Is that next week? I think that's Friday. They have a color run coming up. So we have a lot to do next week. So I'm gonna jet. Thank you for watching. Thank you for visiting me. Thank you for sharing a day in or a week in my first grade life. And I'll see you next time.